Hey y'all, and welcome to Monter's Market, and welcome to my extreme high-end farmhouse DIYs. That's what this is, in my opinion. We're going to get straight into DIY number one, where I can show you what I'm talking about. For DIY number one, I am making a Lazy Susan. I've made some of these before a long time ago, and I've been dying to make one again. So I went to Home Depot and I bought this round. Now, I was blown away because I bought a ton of these rounds back before COVID. They were $6.72. This is the antique wax that I'm going to use. I need to finish my story. But anyway, now they're like almost $13 stinking dollars, y'all. They doubled in price. Doubled. Anyway, I'm going to put on some antique wax all over the whole entire thing, fronts, sides, back. And you can see here I put way too much on, but I pulled it off, put it back in the bottle with my brush, and then just took some baby wipes and wiped it off. Now that right there is where the sticker was at. I forgot to go back and sand that down, so I just wanted to show you. If you have a sticker, be sure to sand it down, or else you're going to have sort of that blank spot whenever you go to put your stain, any kind of stain is going to do that. So make sure you sand it down. But anyway, look at how beautiful that wood grain is. Is that not absolutely gorgeous? Now, I am going to take these transfers from Prima Redesign. It's called Always Fresh. If you remember, I made something 2 videos ago with these, and I couldn't wait to get back to this particular set of rubble transfers. Now, the original price was $28. I want to say I paid like half that, but it will be listed in the link below. Now, the company I got them from didn't have any when I did this 2 weeks ago. I'll check and see if they do now. But either way, I will link the least expensive one that I can find online, because this is a retired transfer. So this is the one that I'm going to use here. I'm just going to lay it down. Now, this was after my paint dried. This was a long time after my paint dried. So be sure to let your paint dry before you go putting your rubble transfer down, because it's not going to stick to wet paint, period, no matter what. So I am just taking, it's a clear ruler. It's a little 6-inch ruler, but I can't find my little stick. But this worked perfect. So I'm just going to put the rubble transfer on, rub it all over with that ruler, and look at how easy this all comes off. Like, these are the most user-friendly rubble transfers I've literally ever used in my life, and I absolutely love them. Now I'm going to take a little hand sander, and I'm just going to go to the edges where that's sort of hanging off and just sand it off, and it comes right off. As you see, I'm just taking my hand and sort of pushing it all down and making sure it's got a really good seal. Now, this is just a few little paints that I'm going to use. I'm going to list all the paints in my description box. Now, I thought I was going to use the red, but I didn't end up using it. And then the antique wax, of course. And then what I didn't show you was some Waverly white chalk paint. But I'm taking a dabber. I'm dabbing it in the paint. And I'm not like painting this, right? Because I don't want it to be a solid paint job. This transfer itself is really like distressed, and there's nothing solid and plain about it. So I didn't want my paint around it to be solid, because it's just not going to blend together well. So after I took my brown, put it on the bottom, then I took my black and sort of went all over. That's when I took a baby wipe, stuck it down in that white paint, and just sort of, you see me dabbing and dabbing and dabbing all over it, just to sort of make it kind of all blend together and come together. And I thought I did a pretty good job. And it looks like there's a sign in the middle of my Lazy Susan. I'm sorry for the sniffling. I have a head cold. Anyway, I'm going to use my blow dryer. I'm going to blow that all dry. because I'm super duper impatient. And then once I get it good and dry, I'm going to go in with my Mod Podge, and I am going to give it a fairly decent heavy coat of Mod Podge. Now, the reason I want to use the Mod Podge is so that I can seal in my rub-on transfer, and like I've said in the past, it gives your whole entire Lazy Susan the same sort of finish, and it all looks good. It all, comes together well, and it just makes it look finished and complete. And I love when everything is, just has the same sort of sheen at the end. And that's what this Mod Podge is going to do, on top of, like I said, sealing it. That way, if I spill some water or something on top of it, it's not going to mess up my transfer. Now, these little handles I got from Home Depot, and now you're not going to see me here paint these white, but I am going to go back in and distress them and paint them white because they get lost in the black. So I'm just going to take a simple little hand screwdriver and put these on, because it was so easy to go through that wood. And I did measure them to find my placement to make sure they're even. I'm going to add my handles. Once I get my handles on, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to add my little Lazy Susan piece. Now, the Lazy Susan piece, again, all of this is going to be listed in the description box. I always have people say, where did you get this? Where did you get that? It's usually always listed in my description box. So this is the piece that is the Lazy Susan turntable. Now, it only comes with the turntable. For whatever reason, it does not come with the screws. So I took it out, laid it down. Now you're going to notice when you lay it down that there's two different, you can actually screw it on either side. I chose this particular side for no particular reason. That was me looking for the screws. And then when I read the packaging, there literally is no screws that come with it. So after I got this particular part measured to make sure I found the middle, you want to be very careful with this part, because if you don't get that centered, when you go to spin your tray, it's going to look lopsided. Like as it's spinning, it's not going to be an even spin, and it's not going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, it's going to look wobbly. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, you want to make sure that you get everything measured correctly, mark your spots, and then this was a pack of D-rings that I happened to have already that had the perfect size little screws in it. So I just stole 4 of them out of there and used them to put my Lazy Susan on. Another thing that I didn't think to film is I bought these little round felt pads from the Dollar Tree, and I put them on the 4 corners of the Lazy Susan part that will touch the table. The ones that are sticking straight up and down right there. That's where I put the little 4 pads. And that was to protect your surface or your table or whatever you're going to be putting that on. And it actually raises it up just a hair, about 1/4 of an inch or whatever, 1/8 of an inch. It just raises it up off the table a little bit more. So anyway, once I got these screwed down, that was it. That's all there was to making this. Now first, I'm going to show you how smooth. Look at how pretty that spins. That's because that Lazy Susan is perfectly in the middle. And this is what it looked like, sort of decorated up and staged for you. Now again, you're not going to see where I went back and painted those handles white until the very end of the video, because I just didn't want to go back and redo all of this little bit right here. So be sure to stay all the way to the end with me so you can see that. But look at how pretty that rub-on transfer is. I am obsessed with this particular pack of rub-on transfers. Let me know down in the comments how you think the blending went. Now, it's obvious that that is a picture and it's square, and you can tell that it's square, but it is what it is, and I still think it turned out pretty. Now, DIY number 2, I'm going to make me some topiaries. This is made of all Dollar Tree stuff. So I'm going to take 4 of the football wreath forms. I'm going to take zip ties, and I'm going to remove my paper, put them together to make it look like a whole football or an egg or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to zip tie them together on 3 sides. And I'm leaving one of my sides open so that I can reach my hand in there and put my greenery in there that I'm going to use. And you'll see me do it a different way on the second one because it was kind of just like trial and error. I wasn't really sure how to do it and get what I needed in there. I didn't think about it till after I finished both of them. But what I should have done is made me like a little bouquet, basically, and put it in there where it was all kind of together and not pieced together. Now, saying that, you can't tell when it's finished, but it just would have made it easier for me myself. Does that make sense? Like, I was putting piece by piece by piece in there and gluing it down, when if I would have just taken my greenery, made like a little bouquet, and what I mean by bouquet is put it all together in one piece, and then it would have been a lot easier to place down inside of my topiary, and then glued my little football form to the candlestick. Now, these candlesticks are also from the Dollar Tree. Now, you'll notice here that the top is green, the bottom is black, but in the end, if you'll watch, it all kind of comes together and it looks like it's the same color. My original intent was to paint these white and give it like a distressed white coat to kind of bring it all together. But when I got it done, I really thought it was so pretty that I didn't want to mess it up. Now, these little berry pick garlands, or pitberry, I think is what they're called, garland. You can get them at the Dollar Tree right now. And I happen to love the green and white ones, and I thought they went perfect with the greenery that I picked out for it. So that's the ones I'm going to use. And I'm just going to sort of haphazardly wrap it around the top with no rhyme or reason and place it on there. Now I'm going to take some ribbon from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to wrap just a small piece around the bottom. I'm going to make it look like it's tied in a knot, but it's not going to be. It's just going to be glued on there. And then I'm going to take a little flower and I'm going to cut it off of a little bundle that I bought. And I'm just going to take one of those little flowers and glue it right to the front. Now, I don't know why I didn't think to either lay this down and film it or rearrange my camera where you could see what I was doing. I have no idea. So I apologize that you can't see what I'm doing. But all I really did was glue down a piece of ribbon, a piece of lace ribbon, and then glued on a flower on top of it. You'll be able to see it in the reveal in just a minute. But I don't know why I didn't think about putting the camera where you could see what I was doing. Now I'm going to do the second one. This one I decided to do a little differently. This one I decided to glue down to the wreath form before I put it together. Now that was a little easier than the first one, but I still think in the end, if I would have done like I said, just put it all together, made like a little small bouquet, then placed it down in there and zip tied it together, it would have been a lot easier for me. So you can take any of those suggestions and try that if you want to try to recreate these. Now, I said a minute ago that I didn't want to go back and paint this white, but again, stay with me till the end, because when I got to painting those handles, I thought, you know what, I wanted to distress that, so that's what I'm going to do. And I don't know why I didn't just make it part of this original plan and do the reveal in the original plan. I don't know why I went to the end, but what it did is it gives me two different ways to style it for you. So it kind of works out better anyway. You can see if you like it better in the dark color, or if you like it better when I end up distressing it in the end. Does that make sense? Like, you get to see it both ways, and you get to make your own mind up whether you like it all dark or if you like it distressed down in the white. Because, you know, a lot of y'all don't like distressing. Most of you that watch me do, because that's what I like, and I think that's what attracts you to my channel. But a lot of you, you know, say in the comments that you don't like the distressing. But I love that you hang in there with me and you keep coming back to my channel. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting me like that. It means the world to me. And that's something that I really don't say a whole lot on here. I don't say thank you enough. So now when I am doing my comments, like when I'm commenting back to you guys, I always, if I don't say nothing else, I say thank you for commenting and letting me know how you like it or how you don't like it or whatever. But on video, on film, I really don't say thank you enough. So thank you. But now this is the second one. I'm just going to wrap it around, add the little bow, add the little flower, and these are done. And this is what it looks like when they're done in the dark setting. Again, wait till the very end of the video and you'll see what it looked like when I went back and distressed it. But I love it black and I love it white. I think I like it more white, only because you guys know I'm obsessed with distressing crap. But look how cute the little flower and the ribbon turned out. I think that just added a little bit to it. Now, this next DIY is going to seem so out of place, but stay with me. Stay with me. I got to pay some bills here, as they say. Vever was kind enough to send me an automatic heat press, and I needed to add it to my video this week to show you what they sent me and to show you how absolutely amazing this machine is. Now, it's a little heavy, so I got my husband to help me pull it out and get it set up. But this is my 5th heat press. I have 2 of the manual kind that you pull down. I have a Cricut, the big, huge one that you push down. You know, you hold it in your hand and you push down. And then I have a mini. Actually, I have 2 minis. Anyway, I do not have an automatic heat press. This is the only one I have. I am obsessed with this thing. What I'm showing you, what I was showing you just then was the book. I'll show you more of the book in just a minute. I'm going to plug it in. Literally, that's all you want to do. When you turn it on, you can set the timer, but when you turn it on, it automatically opens up for you, and you have a huge area. Look at that. Look at the area. It is huge that you can place your things down on and not have to worry about getting too close to the heat plate. But you push the little button and it closes itself. You don't have to push it down. You don't have to put pressure on it to hold it down like my other ones. I don't know if you remember the shirts that I made. I made 4 shirts when we went to go to Disney last month. And they were kind of crappy because they were not bold, they were not vibrant, and that was my heat press's fault. If I would have had this heat press, let me tell you something, those shirts would have been absolutely stunningly gorgeous and vibrant. I said in the video that they weren't made to be vibrant, but they were, and I didn't even realize that until I got this heat press and seen how amazing it worked. Now, this is just me reading to see how to set the settings on the little turn dial. And it is so stinking easy, so very, very user-friendly, and it's almost foolproof. So what you want to do on that little dial is click it or turn it to the right until you hear a click, and then turn it to the left to set the actual temperature. And then once the temperature is set, you're going to hold the little dial, click it to the right until you hear the click again, then turn it to the right until you set the time. There's 2 settings. Okay, watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to turn it to the right. Oh, it automatically opens when you turn it on. That's another thing I wanted to show you too. And then I wanted to show you these 2 pads. It's got 2 really thick pads. If you need to remove one, you can. if you have something thicker. So watch me. I'm going to turn it to the right till it clicks. Now I'm going to turn it to the left to set my time to 375. I'm going to wait till it comes, till it stops. It was already on 60, which is what I needed it on, so I didn't need to change it. But what I would have done is turned it to the right until it clicked on the time setting, and then I would turn it to the right until I get it on 60 seconds. But like I said, it was already on 60, so I didn't need to go any further. Now I'm just going to use a Cricut sublimation t-shirt. And what makes it a sublimation t-shirt? The fact that it's 100% polyester. When you're using sublimation, you want it to have a high number of polyester, at least 75%, because sublimation will not adhere to cotton for whatever reason. It doesn't allow the sublimation to melt. And what happens on sublimation, I've said this before, it is printed onto your paper, and when it comes in contact with that heat, it evaporates and turns into a gas, and then goes into your material and basically prints it onto the material and turns back into a solid, if that makes any sense at all. And cotton does not accept that gas like a polyester does. But I want you to watch when this thing closes for 60 seconds and it gets done. I literally wish I would have filmed myself, was jumping up and down going, wait, what? The vibrancy on this shirt blew me away, because I had just a few weeks ago made some shirts that looked like junk because I didn't have the right heat press. I have spent thousands of dollars, probably $2,000 on daggum heat presses, and this one right here gives me the result that I've been looking for the whole time. I'm telling you, I recommend this more than anything I've ever recommended to you in the 2.5 years I've been on YouTube. I am obsessed with this heat press. I will be doing a ton more sublimation. Look at how pretty. Now, this is a cup that I had made, and that's the reason that I decided to use this print, was so I can make a shirt for Lila to match the little cup that I had made recently. But look at how pretty and vibrant that is. Thank you, Vever, for sending me this heat press. I am so in love with it. I am going to add a card right there in the top right corner. You can click on that and it will take you straight to the information about the heat press. Now let's get into the final reveal for everything that I've done today as far as my farmhouse DIYs. Now, if you'll notice here, look at the handles, how much prettier it looks. You can see the handles, they're bright, they're white, they're right there, and it doesn't get mixed and lost in the whole blackness of the top of that. But look at how beautiful and high-end and farmhouse that looks. And tell me what you think about these distressed now. Do you like them better distressed, or do you like them better in the dark colors? And if you wanted to, you can actually paint the top that's really a dark green into, like paint it black, or it can all be black. Heck, you could paint it pink for all that. It matters. You can paint it whatever color you want to paint it to make it match your decor. Make it you, honey. All I'm doing here is showing you what I like so that you can take it and run with it and do anything you want to with it. I just happen to love it distressed like this. So let me know which of these DIYs is your favorite day, and include the shirt, because that technically was DIY number 3. The shirt was, even though it's not farmhouse and it kind of was out of context in this particular video, I had to get that per my contract. I had to get it out this week. And you know what? It don't have to all mixy, matchy, or whatever. You know, it's fine. We can throw whatever we want to in there. So anyway, if this is the first time you've ever come across my channel, welcome to Monner's Market. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so stoked that you found me. I've gotten several new subscribers recently. Just hit 20,000. Thank you, my heavens. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I never in a million years dreamt I would reach 5,000, much less 20,000. It's taken me 2.5 years to do it, but I've been told that that's not too bad. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for the likes. Those likes and those comments help me more than you could ever imagine. So if you're watching this and you don't feel like commenting, do click at the like button if you like it. And, you know, it just shows me that, hey, there's people watching. They're kind of digging what I'm doing and you want to see more. So to my ones who are always in my live chat, I try to do a premiere every single time I do my videos every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I'm always in the live chat because I love chatting with you guys. I love catching up and seeing how everybody's week was and telling you about my week. And we just have a good time in there. So join us next Tuesday at 8 p.m. in the live chat if you've never done that before. So anyway, I'm going to hush my gabbing and let you move on to whatever you're going to do after my video. I just wanted to say thank you again. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.